Hi and welcome back to Positive Prepper. I'm doing this video in front of Hansel and Gretel. We have a pregnant sow and a boar that we are taking care of, but we get to keep all but one of the piglets that she has in August. So not a full-on homesteading thing, but the extra pork is definitely going to help. And we are still talking about getting some chickens in here. So what I don't want to do is just regurgitate all the stuff that you hear in the news and on other prepper channels. But there are a couple of things that I want you to be aware of. So the first one, an energy crisis can become a health crisis and a food crisis. Remember that if we lose power, your hospitals can't run the equipment that the medical equipment that they need to either keep people alive or do scans, stuff like that, to find, cancer, things that obviously are not healthy things, right? And it becomes a food crisis. So as you all know, I live up here in northwest Wisconsin, and they just somehow, by some accident, had the Walmart refrigerators shut down from Wisconsin all the way to Texas. Okay? I don't know what the deal was with that, but they threw out all the food. Our local food shelf hasn't gotten any food from Walmart in the last 2 days. Or, I'm sorry, the last 2 weeks. They have not gotten any food from Walmart to store up in the food shelf that they give out to other people. Okay, I can understand one Walmart having an issue with that, maybe even 2 Walmarts with that, but that many states with the same issue, and they threw out all the food. Coincidence, right? The other thing I want you to understand too is that, so we're having this issue with finding workers to work in places like restaurants. So that's been a huge factor in prices, hours, availability, right? Not to mention restaurants are having a hard time getting their food because of the shipping issues, okay? But the leases for these businesses are going up 100%. So for example, in Las Vegas, if their lease is $2,500 a month, it's now $5,000 a month. And this is going to put more and more businesses out of business. And so we are only at the beginning of this SHTF. It's not quite the big event, but it's definitely an SHTF. Our gas prices, our food prices, these are all things that are affecting us. The other thing I want to bring up in this video, and believe me, my next video will be a lot more in-depth, but I want you to be aware that as these things progressively get worse, one of God's commandments is going to be broken, and that is the thou shalt not steal. Remember I think it was my last video, I talked about how people are actually going to go to the country looking for resources. Okay, I believe that is going to happen more frequently. The higher the gas prices go, the more food shortages there are. Right now, people are having to wait for CT scans because they can't get the dye. Insulin is in short supply. And we've talked about tampons and stuff like that before, that are short right now. As these things get worse, the stealing, the breaking one of God's commandments is going to get worse. So are you prepared for that? What are you doing for your home defense? I've done videos on home defense. If you haven't seen them, try to go back and watch them, or go watch another channel that has home defense. Okay, there are things that you can do to at least give those people an opportunity to second guess whether they're doing the right thing. And so that's going to be really important for you to go look at. You know, having your home defense as far as weapons go, having alarm systems, being able to cover your points of entry into your home, doing your perimeter defense. We have 3 perimeter defenses here. So the first one is right around the house. The second is sort of in those outbuildings. And then the third perimeter is the property. There's lots of ways that you can protect that. So I will try to do a more in-depth on that. We also have concerns about Russia now being allowed into Nicaragua. We know that China is still in the northwest part of Canada. And if they were to make a move, it would be in Washington State, whereas BLM had a lot of their activities coming from in that same area. People are going to be protesting over Roe versus Wade when that decision comes out. The Supreme Court made their decision today about New York's gun carry laws, and they struck down New York law, which was really good. That was a win for the Second Amendment. The Supreme Court basically said, you have the right to bear arms, and you don't have to explain why you want to carry that firearm. So that was a big win for us. So these are all things that are going on right now, and I just, there's so much more I could say, but I don't want to just regurgitate the news. So my next video is going to have a lot more in-depth. I'm going to go back to the map. I'm going to go back to my dry erase board and really start outlining some things that you need to be aware of if you're not already. But before I end this video, so Diana was the one that won the book from her comment on my last video, but she has declined. And so I have put the last 3 names. Could you bring them over, please? Thank you. I have my little helpers out here today. So we have Kimberly Brinkman, and we have the ESP James, and we have Chronic Fatigue Hermit Hiker. So I'm putting those names into this bowl. And I'm going to mix them up so that I don't know whose is whose. And it is Chronic Fatigue Hermit Hiker. So, Chronic Fatigue Hermit Hiker, if you want this book, which is the Prepper's Survival Bible, please email me at positiveprepper@gmail.com with your mailing address so that I can send this book out to you right away. Hopefully that this book can be used, if not by you, by somebody that you can send it to. So email me at positiveprepper@gmail.com with your mailing address or an address that you want it sent to, and I will send that out right away. You have a week. My next video, I will have another free giveaway with another question for you guys to answer. So hopefully we get some more responses. Hopefully we get some really in-depth answers to the questions that I'm posing. All right, you guys, as always, stay safe, stay aware, and God bless.